Welcome into another video in my series where we're going through and testing every single weapon inside of MW3 to see how viable these weapons are for us to be using inside of our Modern Warfare 3 Zombies game mode. It's going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the MW2 weapons. So if you're new around here and you like to see how weapons perform inside of Call of Duty Zombies, you have landed on the right spot. So make sure you subscribe, turn on those bell notifications so you're not going to miss out any future uploads from myself. As well, down below in the description, you will find the link for my streams. I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and currently working out a Saturday morning stream time. So today is a stream day. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys hop into stream today. Now before we dive into the review related things for today's video, I definitely want to mention that I am so very thankful for reaching the 5,000 subscriber goal on the channel, which unlocked our 4th Black Ops 6 giveaway, this one being a Vault Edition on any platform of your choice. Broccoli, with some numbers, congratulations, you are the winner. I've yet to get in contact with you, so make sure you join the Zhorde Discord that is now over 650 members of players willing to help out other players. If that sounds like a place for you, then join via the link down below in the description. Now in today's video, we're continuing on with the Season 6 of buffs as they continue to buff weapons inside of MW3 Zombies for Season 6. And today we're going to be looking at an MW2 SMG that received a pretty substantial buff, the Vasnev 9K. So in this video today, we're going to take on the Vasnev 9K through all 3 tiers, taking on bounty contracts all the way through. So hopefully by the end of today's video, you have a really good feel for how this SMG performs inside of your Zombies game mode. And by the end of the video, after I exfil from the dark ether, you should be able to make up your mind on whether or not this is going to be a viable option for you to be running inside of your Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. So without further ado, let's dive into the Vasnev 9K review video today. Welcome into today's video. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. I truly do appreciate that. Now in today's video, we're having a look at the Season 6, the Season of Buffs, and we're continuing on with that trend, and we're going to be having a look at the MW2 Vasnev today, and we've got one of the Purgatory Event camos on there, which I'm looking to keep on my weapon for today's run. So if you're new around here to the channel, when I spawn in and do my weapon testing videos here, I put on all of my perks with no additions to the weapon to make it any stronger whatsoever, aside from running Deadshot Daiquiri, and I did bring one extra in today with me for golden armor plates, and we're going to be using mags of holding later on to test how the weapon performs with that. So we went in and grabbed our first bounty contract of the day, and then it was off to see how well this Vasnev 9K SMG is going to perform just at base rarity with white damage, you know, no pack-a-punch, no ammo mods, absolutely nothing, just the base weapon damage. And I was really impressed with what I was seeing in the footage for the damage that was being hit on the critical shots. Was definitely impressive to see with the Season 6 buff. So seeing how well this was doing against our first bounty contract, I was feeling pretty excited to move forward and continue on the testing. We got a perk and a self-revive out of that contract, which was definitely good to see. So the next thing to do was to head off and find the Pack-a-Punch machine so that we can go ahead and visit the Pack-a-Punch machine to increase the damage output on this SMG by 1. Now, if you want to get to keep your camo on your run when you get to the Pack-a-Punch machine, you want to melee the machine first, wait for the center of the machine to turn green before you use the machine or your Pack-a-Punch crystals, and you'll be able to keep your camo for the rest of your run. So the next thing to do after increasing the damage output by 1 was to pick up our second bounty contract of the day inside of Tier 1, and we went ahead and grabbed our bounty contract here, and then it was off to see how well we're going to perform against this bounty contract, being still white rarity but only pack-a-punch is the only difference we've done to this weapon. And I was thoroughly impressed with just how fast we were able to eliminate that bounty contract inside Tier 1 being only pack-a-punched. So the next thing to do was to throw on my legendary tool and Shatter Blast, my ammo mod, and find ourselves our third and final bounty contract inside of Tier 1. And these ones were typically incredibly overpowered for and have no issues eliminating any of these bounties in Tier 1. Being legendary pack 1 with an ammo mod, you can take on anything inside of Tier 1. So picked up our bounty, we got a Mimic, and whoo! Talk about instant delete. Holy smokes. Definitely awesome to see. So seeing how this weapon had performed with the buffs across all 3 of our bounty contracts inside of Tier 1, at this point I was really eager to push into Tier 2, grab a bounty contract, and take that bounty on at Pack-a-Punch 1 Legendary with an ammo mod, and just see how strong is this weapon going to be against the bounty contract inside of Tier 2. And I was not disappointed at all. I mean, the damage output at Pack 1 Legendary inside of Tier 2 with the Season 6 buff to this weapon is remarkable. Truly, truly awesome. I was feeling really confident. Time to open up the handy-dandy pocket Pack-a-Punch machine and increase the damage output on my SMG by 1. We are now Pack-a-Punch 2 Legendary with an ammo mod, and it was time to pick up our final bounty contract of the day inside of Tier 2 to see just how viable this weapon's going to be in Tier 2. Our final bounty contract inside of Tier 1 was virtually an instant delete, so I was feeling incredibly confident moving in to take on this Mangler bounty contract inside of Tier 2. Being Legendary, Pack-a-Punch 2 with my ammo mod on, and I was definitely not disappointed. We were able to make complete easy work of that bounty contract inside of Tier 2. So awesome to see. Now, I had noticed this player had been pleading for a very long time for someone to come get them, and no one was able to find them. They weren't able to list their coordinates, so we made it over, got them back up, dropped them a self-revive so they can get back into the fight and be good to go. And once I saw that they were up and ready to start moving around, it was time for me to move on and dive into Tier 3, as I was eager to see how well this is going to be performing against zombies inside of Tier 3. But before I did any extra damage to this weapon, taking it to Pack-a-Punch 3, I wanted to stop at Der Wonderfizz, grab the rest of my perks, as I like to have when I run inside of Tier 3, and then it was kind of time to wander into Tier 3 and see just what this SMG with the Season 6 buffs is going to be capable of. Now, I know I've got a little bit of crowd control, some stranglers coming back over from the Wonderfizz machine as I throw a decoy to use it, so I thought this was a good opportunity to kind of have a little mini test and see just how well this weapon is going to be performing inside of Tier 3, being Pack-a-Punch level 2 Legendary with an ammo mod. And I was not disappointed at all. I mean, at Pack 2 Legendary inside of Tier 3, these zombies were definitely not much of an issue. I wasn't having much of a struggle, and this actually gave me a lot more confidence to continue pushing forward and using this weapon inside of Tier 3. So in that was a small sample size of crowd control, I definitely wanted to grab a larger horde of zombies inside of Tier 3 and take them on with this weapon at Pack-a-Punch 2 Legendary with an ammo mod, and I was thoroughly impressed with the damage output of this weapon. I mean, you can see on screen the carnage that we are doing at Pack 2 Legendary inside of Tier 3 at crowd control is truly awesome. I do want to mention one of the downsides to this weapon, and seems to be a common theme with some of the MW2 SMGs, is the reserve ammo count is really low. However, on that note, I want to mention that as I put this to max damage, Pack 3 with mags of holding on to no reload, that with the magazine size being fairly low, I only ran out of ammunition during this run, I think once in the standard map, and I believe once in the Dark Aether. So it does have a small ammo count, but I was definitely feeling confident with the damage that it's able to dish out. I mean, you can see on screen just how much damage we are dishing out to Tier 3 crowd control at PAP 3 Legendary with this weapon. It is truly awesome, the damage output, and you can see the carnage is definitely real on screen. So this is definitely something that I was excited to use, and I was really, really enjoying using this weapon for today's run. Definitely tons of fun. Next thing to do, take on Zhorde, the Guardian of the Archers, and show him our new buff Vasnev 9K. I can tell you, Zhorde was definitely not eager to check out the Vasnev 9K with the buff for Season 6. He was in the mood to laser me and chase me down as I brought him over to our picnic table area where I like to have my fights with Zhorde, as I can control his kind of movements and the crowd control over here. But Zhorde was definitely in an aggressive mood today. He was firing up laser attacks, which allowed me to show you just how awesome this is when you're able to hit the critical damage shots with this Vasnev 9K for the Season 6 buffs. Truly amazing damage output on this weapon. And it, you know, being an SMG, you've got the movement speed, which is awesome. It lets you get out of those sticky situations if you need to move in a hurry with your weapon in your hand. So that was something I was definitely, you know, enjoying while using this for today's run. Definitely also you can see the crowd control and being able to handle, you know, pretty much everything well. I've got a, you know, HVT Mega Abomination charging and attacking me. This weapon performs incredibly well at handling all of those situations. All of the damage needed is definitely something that this is able to output for sure to hit off the damage. I do want to mention though that the magazine size, your reserve ammo size in this is definitely going to be an issue. It is a little low. However, in this gameplay, with the magazine size being really low, I definitely did find that during this run, I was not having much of a problem keeping ammo in my weapon. Just make sure you're running over your zombies and you're aware of your ammo caches, and this one should be okay, as it definitely dishes out a boatload of damage. I mean, you can see what we're doing to Zhorde when we get the critical shots. Just absolutely amazing damage to see. So that was awesome, and definitely a really, so to speak, I guess you could say, easy fight with George, the Guardian of the Archers today. So that was amazing to see. So next thing to do was to grab a bounty contract inside of Tier 3, which has been something that has been a challenge for me to come up with recently inside of Season 6. So we managed to pick up a bounty. We got a Disciple. Yay! I'm not a big fan of Disciples. However, with the buffs made to this Vasnev 9K for Season 6, I was feeling incredibly confident dishing out the damage to this Disciple when I was able to get my critical shots. Now, I did run out of ammo right at the very end of my fight with this Disciple, but that wasn't much of an issue. I wasn't concerned. I do know that in behind me, I had activated the circuit turret with a circuit board, and it was currently going. So all I need to do was push forward so that the Disciple, my Disciple bounty, would be in the line of fire of the circuit turret, and he would absolutely shred my Disciple for me, killing it, which would then drop me some ammo so I could put some more ammo back into my weapon, and that is exactly what happened. So truly awesome use of, you know, the circuit turrets. They're definitely amazing to see. So the next thing to do was to replenish the mags of holding that I'd used on this run and head off to the Season 2 Dark Aether. In here, partially because I had brought in a mags of holding today on this run, so I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to replenish the mags of holding that I brought in. So into the Season 2 Dark Aether, pick up our first bounty contract, Bunny, which is going to be our Mega Abomination bounty contract. And when I get the Mega Abomination bounty contract, I will run out the back side of this building, as I feel like it is the safest route to get to the Mega Abomination, which generates the least amount of crowd control. So let me know if you have another route or feel like there's a better way to go ahead and get that. And then when I come in and deal with our Mega Abomination as a solo player inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether, my method to complete this contract as quickly, safely, and efficiently as possible is to throw a decoy before I drop my jug suit, so that all of the zombies will disappear and I have a chance to go over and pick that up without any issues. And then it is turn, quick fire, and focus in my fire on my Mega Abomination bounty contract, and as much of the crowd control around as I can, and as many of the HVTs that are in the area as possible, so that when I complete my bounty contract, I'm able to get into that reward rift and get the loot that we all so badly want. Also, if you're still in your jug suit and the reward rift shows up, you're able to activate, get in, and stow stuff from the reward rift while you're still in your jug suit, which is awesome if you guys didn't know that. So we got our mags of holding out of the first contract, which was amazing. So now I managed to replenish the mags that I'd used on this run. Awesome. Feeling really good at this point and really confident using this weapon. So it was off to pick up our next contract inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether, which is the P&D Outlast contract. Now I had brought 2 sentry turrets with me to help me to complete this contract, and I placed one of them right there, and I placed the other one on the opposite side, again facing in towards the P&D contract, so that these sentry turrets are going to help me as I like to run around inside of the P&D Outlast contract. And I enjoy the challenge that is this P&D Outlast inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether. This is probably the most challenging contract inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether. You can go in that room behind the counter there and kind of hang out in there, and all the zombies should be spawning in from 2 or 3 locations. But personally, I like to run around inside of the P&D contract. It gives me a good feel for how strong weapons are. how viable they can be inside of here, as you're going to have an absolute boatload of crowd control to deal with. There's going to be HVTs coming in here. There's going to be Manglers. There's going to be Disciples. It's just absolutely pure chaos, and I thoroughly enjoy it and think this is one of the most fun contracts to complete inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether. Let me know what contract is your favorite contract to complete inside of MW3 Zombies. I'd love to hear from you all and find out which ones that you enjoy running the most. Now you can see we're making pretty easy work of this Outlast contract here. This SMG with the buff it received for Season 6 was dishing out an absolute boatload of damage to just any enemy in my path while I was doing this Outlast contract. I was feeling incredibly confident using this, and just, you know, unbelievably how viable this weapon is with the changes they made to it, which is awesome to see. You've got the speed movement that you need with an SMG, so you can hop around, you can run, you can get out of sticky situations, you can evaporate HVTs at the end of the barrel inside of the Dark Aether, which is thoroughly amazing to see. Definitely an awesome weapon for Season 6, I think, definitely. So we completed the Outlast contract. Next thing to do was to go off and grab the final bounty contract, or the final contract, sorry, inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether, the Aether Extractor contract. This Aether Extractor contract, for me, the easiest method to go ahead and complete this is by using your Casimir grenades. And if you want to make the easiest work of the Season 2 Aether Extractor contract, I recommend 4. So you drop 1 at the base of the Aether Extractor like we did on that first one. And then you go ahead and overload it on the phone, and your Casimir will protect you. Push forward to the second one. I typically drop an energy mine behind me so that it can dish out some more damage and clear out some more of the crowd control. Drop another Casimir at the base of the second Aether Extractor. Go ahead and overload that one on the phone, and then as I push forward to the final one, I go ahead in my bag and can equip any other Casimirs that I have. And we go ahead and drop one of those down at the base of the Aether Extractor. And I had an extra one today, so we threw that as I knew I had an energy mine available if I needed it. And then it was use the Aether Extractor phone right there and overload it and complete all 3 contracts inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether. Epic tools? Anybody? I'm good. So we're going to leave those and make our way out. Truly an awesome run with this Vasnev 9K for Season 6. Definitely felt a lot stronger, so something that I would recommend that we all give a shot to inside of our Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. Definitely a good run today. I was happy with the loot that I managed to get inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether and exfil with, so that was awesome, replacing the mags of holding. This is the build that I used for the Vasnev 9K today, so if you guys want to make any changes to the build, gearing it towards maybe speed or ADS speed, then let's work together down in the comments section to make that happen. Now we're going to show you the camo that I used, which is from the Purgatory event, as well as the blueprint that I used on the Vasnev 9K. But before we end the video, I definitely want to let you all know, make sure you are subscribed, liking, and commenting on my videos so that you have the best chance to get into our next Black Ops 6 giveaway, Vault Edition, on any platform of your choice, which will happen when the channel reaches 7,000 subscribers. Thank you oh so very much for tuning in today. I truly do appreciate that, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.